What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Wisco Madman coming at you. So I wanted to get into some product review shit. For those of you who don't follow my channel, just going through a quick intro for some of the subscribers that are like, what the fuck? So yes, normally you see me do music reactions, you see me do some true crime stuff. This isn't so much for the channel as it is just making a couple videos that I feel are helpful to people out there looking for reviews on particular products from just a simple, normal fucking guy that has some experiences and opinions based on some products. So, that being said, this review is for the Roomba. Um, this is the S9. I do not have the Plus Edition, so I don't have the whole trash bin. It came with the charging pad. This is what I have. You can see some wear and tear and whatnot. I've had it for a couple years now. So I've had quite a bit of experience. So this overall review, I'm also going to try to make an effort to make this kind of an overall robotics vacuum review, meaning even though it's only one product that I personally had to check out, there are some experiences that I've come across. I do believe Roomba is the best in the game. Period. Yes. That being said, I'm very happy that I got it as a combination Christmas birthday gift from my dad. Very, very happy I did not spend that kind of money on this product, because if I was spending my own money, I'd be a lot more upset. That being said, I like the idea of a robot vacuum. It's nice to have because it does the majority of your vacuuming for you. It does not eliminate vacuuming, guys. If you want a clean house, you're still going to have to pick up after it here or there, as there's stuff that it does miss. So, let's get into what I like about it. It covers the majority of vacuuming. It has, and this is aftermarket now, but it does have the little spin brush thing. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and tilt this camera down just a hair, if I can. That way you can see more of it when I'm showing you stuff. Normally I don't tilt it down this far because I want my whole up background stuff, but for this review I want it down further. So this is the side spin brush. So it uses that as it comes around a corner. It's going to come into a corner, like say under trim and different things like I have in the kitchen. It'll use that to scoop out edges and stuff, different things that gather in there. So that's kind of nice. It does a good job of cleaning up the kitchen and stuff like that. Um, more pros, more pros, more pros. It's got really powerful suction. That was the one thing I kind of debated when I was putting it on my list. I was thinking about Dyson, because Dyson is the king of the vacuum game. I used to work in industrial cleaning for a whole 9 years. Through that time, I did a lot of industrial-sized vacuuming. Vacuuming up dirt, knowing about suction, knowing about how air movers work. So we call them vacuums. They're not vacuums. They're actually air movers. If you want to be technical about the industry, they move air from the point in which it's sucking, vacuuming, where it's sucking and moving that air, it's actually pushing it out. Like in this example, it pushes it out these air vents here. So I'm very technical when it comes to a vacuum. I'm very picky when it comes to a vacuum. And it needs to have powerful suction. Roomba, I give you credit. The S9 has incredible suction. I do have a Dyson hose, like pull behind thing that plugs in. Not the wireless, but it's a hosed one, and this Roomba's probably got similar suction to that. The Dyson picks up things in corners and whatnot, like stuff that the programming of the Roomba missed, which is where I'm going to get into the cons. But it doesn't pick up a whole lot of things when the Roomba's done multiple passes, which even in vacuuming, you guys, you know, no matter how good a vacuuming you have, one swipe doesn't always do it. You have to kind of go over and do a pattern and stuff like that to cover and get all that you need. Roomba, here's where we're going to get into the problems. Number one thing that irritates me about Roomba. The programming's not there. And if they're the best in the game, which I truly believe they are probably the leading in robotics of vacuuming, I have no reason to believe anything else is even close from the reviews that I've seen. So this is the number one. Well, Roomba, work on not sucking up every fucking thing that I have on the ground. I should not have to clean my entire house myself. Picking up clothes, picking up charger wires, picking up whatever. Any straggly shit that you don't want sucked up. Guess what? Roomba is the charger wire finder. And how? Here. So these are the original brushes. The original rubber, whatever, I call them brushes. But you get what I mean. The bar rotations. That it sucks in through here. So you can see some of the marking. A lot of that marking is either from hair and stuff like that, which there's still a little bit wrapped in there. But it's mainly from charger cables. This sumbitch sucks up wires. Like, it could suck up this. This is the plug-in wire from the charging base, but it could suck up this wire. Easy. It'll wrap it around these fucking things, like, insanely. What else do I have? Okay, I have a charger wire that I can show you. So these things will end up being wrapped about 5-6 times around them fucking bars. It drives me insane. So that speaks to its ability to pick shit up. But it also speaks to its ability to drive me insane. So yeah, if you're going to have a robot vacuum, you better have a fairly tidy house to begin with. If you have an untidy house like myself, get that you're pretty much, yeah, you can let the robot vacuum do its work, but if you have shoes out that have laces, it's going to suck them laces up. If you have backpacks, it's going to suck the fucking straps off the backpack and suck that sumbitch in there. So you have to babysit this fucking vacuum. You really do. You might not have to do the physical labor, but hey, like while you're watching TV or something and listening to this thing fucking howl, because she's not quiet. It's not quite as loud as a normal vacuum, but it's still a vacuum. But yeah, it's programming. It wanders. When you tell it to clean the kitchen, it might end up in the bathroom. Even if you have the map set up properly, the rooms and such, which it's actually pretty decent at mapping. I say it's pretty decent. If you tell it to keep out of spots, it's pretty good at that. Like when you do your keep out zones and stuff, it's good at that. But when you tell it to vacuum areas, it'll wander. Might tell it to vacuum the bathroom, ends up in the bedroom. Like, my bathroom is over there, and my bedroom's over there. They're across the hall from each other. And yeah, that's the programming. So actual technical malfunctions, that's the part I'm going to get into. That's the other thing that irritates me, that worries me, that, sorry, she's on, yeah.
Move to a new area and
Sorry.
then press clean.
Yeah, one of its notifications, because it's sitting on my lap. She detects all kinds of random shit. So if we turn her around, this is the bin department. The reason I'm showing you this is, see that little strip there? God, I'm trying to act in a mirror, and I'm obvious. So that little strip in between my middle fingers here, that's, I believe, like brass contact or whatever. And then you have these little wires here. Not sure if you can see it. One of them's kind of slightly bent out of place. It still works actually pretty well now because I figured out how to fix it. If you ever have a problem with, if you get one of these Roombas, any of them, I think it's all about the same. They're just different levels of suction and whatnot, and sometimes different features that you can get with them. But the overall technicality of it's the same.
Place on a flat surface.
Sorry, she's going to keep on talking every time I bump a little touch button because they're all touch buttons. They're not actual buttons. But when you close the lid, so normally you would close the lid and then she won't necessarily detect that the lid's closed, so she won't vacuum. Well, that's where there's a little trick. You can take something as easy as see if I can find it here. Something as easy as this paper clip. See how it's bent out? And you use that just going in here and sticking it through those little charger things. Be careful because they're thin. You don't have to. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, and you kind of pull against the spring to get it to be back at the right level, pushed up high enough so when the lid closes, they have contact. Another thing is you can make sure that you clean those off. Beware, don't get shit too wet. This is an electronic. Things like alcohol or acetone would be my recommendation. Just a little dab on a tissue or a rag, and wipe those connections off. That would be my recommendation to you. At your own risk, obviously, guys. If you wreck your shit, I'm not responsible for that. But my advice with any electronics is don't get it wet. So, like, when you're using something to clean it, very little is all you need. The next thing that I started having problems with, this bin has detection issues. It gets technical with that. It'll start saying, well, replace the bin, replace the bin. The bin's in there. So you got to get in here and like really hyper clean all the sensors. There's little, you can see them on the sides. Maybe not so much in the video. I can kind of try to show you. See that darker spot that's over by the suction inlet? Right over there. That darker spot is the sensor. There's another one on the other side. You know, clean off all the sensors. That is a constant issue. Be advised, guys, and I'm sure Roomba doesn't back it as much. I myself have bought aftermarket parts. So I mentioned it kind of earlier. This is an aftermarket part. If I get these brushes, I'll probably try the aftermarket parts. These wheel rubbers on here, aftermarket. All shit to avoid paying the insane prices Roomba charges. Because the amount of work that Roomba has put into this, yes, I get it, Roomba. There's a lot of R&D that was involved in developing this. Your price does not match what this does. It matches what the R&D was to develop it. I get that. But you have to understand that when you make a product, customers don't generally pay for R&D. Customers are looking to pay for the product received, what the product does for them in the house. So if it eliminated vacuuming altogether, fuck yeah, worth $1,000. It does not. You have to babysit this fucking thing like crazy. So perfect the robotics and the programming before you go and say, oh, well, it's worth $1,000. Well, it's not really. Because it's not like I could go away on vacation for a week and trust this thing to make it around the house and make the carpet and floors crispy. Like, just clean. So, it does pick up a lot of dust. It does a lot of good things. But, yeah, man. And I know this review is fairly long, but if you actually are really trying to do research, I'm trying to make sure that I cover all pieces so I can really tell you what trials and tribulations I've gone through with this thing. Once these rubbers wear out, which they wore out fairly fast, I thought, to me, I would have thought rubber tires would have lasted years and years. They lasted maybe a year and wore out because this thing will try to get over carpet and get stuck on the edge from a hardwood to a carpet where there might be a raised what's used to seal the carpet. Well, that raised piece, this thing will sit there and spin and spin and spin, or it'll get stuck under a coffee table. Or I literally have had to, under this couch, I have 1x2 or whatever the hell it is, like small board, to create a far enough drop so this bumper will hit that board instead of going under the couch, because it'll go under the couch and start vacuuming up my surround sound wires that happen to be under the couch. Any and everything. It vacuums everything. So that's good and bad. It's had problems charging, so you have to clean these pads off and make them nice and shiny. Obviously, you can see they're getting a little dirty again. And it would be really cool to see the excess dust bin. But I'm not going to lie. guys, the extra, the plus, so this thing can park and dump its load into the extra bin, and it'll last longer before you have to worry about emptying the bin. That's a cool idea, but from a money saving perspective, what I would say is, since you already have to babysit this thing so much, there's really no point in the excess dump bin. That's kind of like, if you got money to burn, holes in your pocket, fine, great, but you don't need it. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I got to say on this. The programming's got a long way to go, from the aspect of not vacuuming up shit, shoes and stuff you don't want it to vacuum up. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, and if I have any updates, I will throw them in the comments. If y'all have any questions, this is kind of my conclusion wrap-up. Any questions you have for me, I've had this product for a while. I can pretty well answer any question you may have about it. I'm fairly knowledgeable about how it works and any problems you might come across or any abilities it might have. So yeah, I'm plenty willing to answer those questions if you guys don't want to try to call Roomba, which, the way customer service works nowadays, good luck. You're probably not going to get a hold of a person, or you're going to sit on hold for 2 hours. So anyway, yeah, questions, throw them in the comments if there's shit that I didn't cover. Don't really want to make this video any longer. But overall, great product as a present to somebody, but spending your own money on it, not something I recommend. Definitely not worth $1,000 of my own money. But again, you want to spoil somebody, get them a present, it's a cool present. It's just, know that it's going to have problems along the way. So yeah, and for my subscribers, it's been your boy Wisco Madman. If you guys are interested in checking out any of my other, I do music reactions, I have opinions on other platforms, I have adventure videos. I recently lost my puppy, but I will get another dog, so you'll see adventures with dog and stuff eventually. And yeah, so that kind of covers, like I said, music reactions. Oh, true crime's the other thing I got into as well. But I'm always diversifying, I'm always doing new shit. So check out the Wisco Madman on all platforms: YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, Clapper, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Thank you all for watching. I hope this review helped explain a little more about robotic vacuuming, and I look forward to catching y'all in the next one. So thank you guys for commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Catch you on the next one. Peace.